Hey everyone. So in this video, I just want to quickly talk about 5 tips for you to be able to predict frost. Now there are some of us who have already gotten frost, and then there's a lot of us who have not gotten frost yet. I'm in zone 5, so I haven't gotten my first frost yet. But I want to talk about a few tips that will help you predict whether or not you can really expect frost, because sometimes on the weather they will tell you that there's a frost warning, there's a frost advisory, there's a frost, there's a freeze warning or what have you. But and I will put in the description, I'll explain all of those things in the description on how to tell the difference between those. But for the sake of the length of the video, I'm just going to go through the 5 tips, but I will include a lot of information in the description. So go ahead and make sure you check out the description. So let's get started. 5 tips for predicting frost. Number 1, the temperature. How warm was it during the day? It probably sounds pretty simple, but if your temperatures were 75 degrees in the east, in the north, or 80 degrees in the south and the west during the day, then it is very unlikely that the mercury will drop to a frost level that night. Okay, so if your temperatures were that high during the day, your chances of getting a frost are pretty slim to none. Number 2, is it windy? Was it windy? Is it windy and more importantly, is it windy at night? Okay. When it's not windy at night, that allows the cool air to pool around the ground. Okay. There's no movement. It's a still night. The air can pool. The moisture is in the air, the water vapors. Now, when you have a frost, it's basically the water vapors in the air freezing, okay? Now, sometimes you come outside and the grass will be wet, your plants will be wet, and that's called dew. That's the water vapors in the air that have settled on your plants. Frost is when those water vapors in the air freeze before they become dew, okay? So the water vapors are in the air. If your night is very still, then it allows that air to pool around the ground, okay? So yes, you are likely to get a frost. But if it's windy, if it's even slightly windy, then it is less likely that you're going to have a frost that night. A light wind, a light breeze will stir things up, and it won't allow those water vapors to settle. Okay. Number 3, is it cloudy? Is it a cloudy day? Is it a cloudy night? Is the sun setting in clouds? If the sun sets through a thickening layer of clouds, the clouds will slow the what's the word I'm looking for? The radiational cooling is what it's called. The clouds will slow that cooling and stave off the frost. So with clouds, the risk of frost is reduced. Number 4, what is your garden landscape? Do you live on a slope or do you live in a valley? If you live on a slope, if your garden is high, then you're less likely to have a frost. Whereas if your garden is low and in a valley or at the bottom of a slope, then it is more likely that you'll have a frost, because cold air sinks and it puddles down at the bottom. A landscape with trees can help keep frost at bay, because trees transpire a lot of moisture through their leaves. Number 5 is the dew point. What is the dew point for that evening? Your dew point is the temperature at which the air is no longer able to hold the moisture within it. Okay? If your dew point is above 45 degrees Fahrenheit, the less likely there is of frost. And if your weatherman is predicting within the next couple of days that you could have a frost or that there's a frost advisory, a light watering of the garden beforehand can help stop the frost from settling. So there are your 5 tips for predicting whether or not you will actually get a frost. So the description box is going to have a lot of information. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. Read through the description box to know what temperatures are considered frost, what temperatures are considered freeze, what's the difference between a watch and a warning, so that you'll know how to be prepared to protect your plants. Now you can protect your plants many different ways. You can use row covers, you can use a greenhouse, you can use cold frames. There's lots of different ways for you to protect your plants. I am overwintering some peppers here, and I wanted to do a video on that, but it started raining, so I will do a video on explaining on what I did. But as far as being able to see what I did, I'm not going to be able to show that. Anyhow, I will show you guys a table of plants and temperatures and what temperatures cause damage on what plants. And I'll link that information in the description as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you will be able to predict your first frost and when it's coming. Just keep an eye on your skies and learn your microclimate, because every year the frost warning, the frost dates, they change. And the weather, the almanac, no matter what you do, you can Google the dates. It's not going to be precise. There's always going to be a variation. So those are just pretty much estimates, and it's basically a 30% chance. So you want to be prepared. You want to know, hey, the weatherman said there's a chance for frost. Is it really a chance? What was my temperature today? What is the dew point? Check those things out. Make sure that you know exactly what to expect so that you know how to protect your plants. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It will really help me out. And until next time, the more you know, the more you grow. Bye, guys. It is a lovely 70 degrees in here.